What is up, guys? So with the Series 2 release, we got this amazing gem right here. When you hit level 60, you get an 89 to a 90 overall power-up pass. Now, power-up passes are, as you probably know, very valuable in the game. They can save you like hundreds of thousands of coins, so you need to know how to use them. And what I wanted to go over in this video is just the best players that you can use this 89 to 90 overall power-up pass on. Obviously, this will change depending on your team. Maybe you have some of these players, maybe you don't. That could change. But I just wanted to go over the specific players that I think you should use this on. And if you don't want to use it on any of these players, just kind of the general line of thinking that you should have when you're using this. But first, a word from our sponsor.
For the cheapest Madden coins available, check out my sponsor One Stop Mutt to start building that God Squad you've always wanted today. Use code WAZ to get 15% off your order.
Alright, so level 60, I'll probably be the last person in the world to get there. I didn't even get to level 50 because I don't like grinding and doing all that crap, but once you get there, you will get that 89 to 90 overall power pass that we just saw there. We're going to go over to the store. We're going to look at 5 players that I think you need to definitely consider using this on. Like I said at the beginning, this is going to depend largely on your team. If you have one of these players and all you're missing is their 90 or 89 overall, then you can go ahead and put this power up pass in there. But you want to use this for players that have value. Obviously, the general idea behind power up passes is use it on the most expensive player. So let's say you've got two 90s that you want to use. Whichever one costs more, use the power up pass in place of that actual card. Now, for no money spent people like myself, 90s right now are very expensive. They're hard to come by. So you might only have one card that you can use this power up pass on that you're able to afford to buy and then power up and get all the way up. So that's why I wanted to go over that here, especially for you no money spent guys and just people in general that don't love spending a ton of money on the game. Obviously, if you drop hundreds of thousands of dollars on packs, you can kind of get all these guys anyway. But we're going to go over here to the 88 to 89. So actually, none of the people on my list are 89s overall, and that's just because, frankly, all of them are a lot cheaper right now. You look at all of them right here. You got Merlin Olsen, Arian Foster. We got a couple Team of the Week guys. There's a couple of Theme Diamonds. There are some good players. I'm not saying there aren't good players, but there's just, there are much better players that I would consider using this on in place of these. Now, like I was saying with the value of the player, yeah, Brandon Linder is a good player. Richie Incognito is a good player. I wouldn't use this on any defensive tackles or offensive linemen, maybe a defensive end. I don't know, pass rushers, if that's your thing in this game, maybe do that. But make sure you're doing this for someone that's going to help you on your team, especially if it's the only 90 that you're going to have. If you're using this power pass on your best player on your team, make sure it's someone that's going to be a difference maker. Now, an offensive lineman is great to have, especially if you like to run the ball, but I would rather use it on a running back or even a quarterback or a tight end, maybe even. I wouldn't use it on an offensive lineman, so just keep that in mind. Just because, let's say you have Richie Incognito powered up just before that, I wouldn't use this power up pass on him. But even if you can't afford to pay the $124,000, I would use the power up pass on someone else. So let's go over to the actual players that I would use this on. Now, there are a couple of LTDs on this list from Series 1. If you didn't know, the LTDs from Series 1 are now Redux. Not all of them. Dalvin Cook and some of those guys are still just LTDs because they came out right toward the end of Series 1. But a lot of them got the Series Redux. But it doesn't matter. If a card's an LTD, whether it has a Redux, it was an LTD and all that, it doesn't matter. All that matters is their overall. An 89 or a 90 overall player can go into this power pass. So I've wasted enough time. Let's talk about who we want to use it on. First one we're going to talk about is Denzel Ward, the 90 overall cornerback. And I want to also add a little note into here, the cost of their power-ups. Because obviously if you're using their power-up pass, you're going to have to acquire their power-up. Now maybe you have that already, but I want to throw that in. So he is obviously about 1,000,000 coins. Very expensive. 90 overall with 92 speed, 92 excel, 90 agility, 88 jump. This is one of the best cornerbacks in the game. Obviously, we just got Deion Sanders. He's probably the best in the game now, but 89 man coverage, 88 press. His zone isn't the best, but everything else is very good. This is a very good card. Now, his power up right now is around 90,000 coins at the time of recording. It could be higher, it could be lower when y'all are watching, but save it to say that this is a very expensive power up. So be aware that if you want to go with someone like Denzel Ward, there's a couple of guys on this list where their power up is just incredibly expensive. So if you want to get them, that's cool. Just be aware that just because you have the power up pass, you're still going to have to invest in the power up itself and then the cost of training, which is probably like 2,000 or 3,000 training to get them up to about this level. It could be a little more, a little less than that, but also just account for the fact that you do have to get their power up as well. Just like Denzel Ward, we also got Jamal Adams, the 90 overall here, about 1,000,000 coins as well. Denzel Ward's one of the best cornerbacks in the game. Jamal Adams is the best strong safety in the game as of right now with 89 speed, 88 excel, whereas 92 hit power, 90 zone coverage, 87 man coverage. He's very good across the board. He really lays the boom. He's one of those good strong safeties to user or just let him sit back there and do his own thing. You can put him at sub linebacker and he'd be absolutely nasty there, or you can put a lesser guy. Whatever you want to do it, this is a very good strong safety. Now his power up is going for, at the time of me recording this, about 95,000 coins. So again, a very, very expensive power-up. If you were lucky enough to get this from, I think it's a Get a Gold. I think it's like a 77 overall power-up. I could be wrong, but if you're lucky enough to get it from one of those packs, then of course either hold or sell. Right now they're probably at their highest value because as other cards get upgrades, as we get other strong safeties, those cards will drop in value. So you could pick it up for cheaper later, but if you want this card now, then it doesn't really matter. Next on the list is going to be the best pass rusher in the game, and that is Lawrence Taylor. He's going for about 300,000. Obviously, he's a lot cheaper than the other guys at about a third of the price or even less, but he's a 90 overall right outside linebacker with 87 speed, 90 excel, 86 strength, 85 tackling. All the really good stuff. He's got the 89 power move and the 87 finesse move, which is really good. So putting him into the power up, getting him to a 91, he is a very good pass rusher. He'll get after the quarterback, get you a lot of sacks. Obviously, he got the legend card though, so if you didn't know, all legends, you can go and play their solo challenges and get their power up for free. I just did it for the Deion Sanders. I did it for Bo Jackson. You can get it for free. That being said, his power up is still going for 25,000. So if for some reason you completed that and then you sold his power up because it was going for 50 or 60 because people don't know about that challenge right when he dropped, then you can go and pick it up for about 25,000. It's much cheaper than the other ones because you probably can go get it for free if you haven't done that challenge yet. But Lawrence Taylor is still one of the best defensive players in the game. Obviously, pass rush isn't the best this year. That's why he's a little bit cheaper, I think, 300,000, and obviously the other guys were LTDs, but you can just use the power pass in place of them, so it doesn't really matter. Now I got two picks for offense. The first one is going to be wide receiver Brandon Cooks, 90 overall. When he came out, he was the best card in the game. He was very good. 91 speed. That is largely the reason why. 88 catch, 86 catch in traffic. Really good stats across the board. He'll hit all those thresholds if you put him into the power up, boost him up, and then if you put a little bit of chemistries on him, all of that, he'll hit all of the thresholds that you want. Very good. Obviously, he's a little bit cheaper, like y'all saw, about 300, 350,000, somewhere in that range. But again, the other guys are the LTDs. They're going to come down in price, and the reason they are so expensive is because they are LTDs, and as of right now we only have one power pass, so they're going to stay up there in price. But if you're only able to get one of these guys, which is what this list is, if you're only able to pick one, it really doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter what the card's price is. You just want to use someone on your team that will add value to your team, and if Brandon Cooks is going to do that, then he's a great option. Now his power up is just like Denzel Ward's and Jamal Adams. It's 95,000 coins at the time of recording, so another very expensive power up. So just be aware also as you're ripping Get a Golds and just any packs in general, as you get power-ups, go check their value because they may have just gotten a card upgrade that you didn't know about. Even if they're not going for this 90,000, 100,000 power-up like some of these guys are, it's still always good to check their value. You never know when you get one that's going for like 10 or 15,000 coins, and it's a little small dub at the very least. And the final one on this list is going to be actually the cheapest one, and that's going to be none other than Bo Jackson for about 240,000. He got a legend a little while back, but 90 overall with 91 speed, 90 excel, 89 agility, 86 carrying, 88 changing direction, 89 truck, and 89 break tackle. Obviously a very good, powerful, and fast running back, one of the best in the game. Probably the only better one is Barry Sanders. You could say Dalvin Cook. There's a couple other good ones in the game, but he's still a very good one. And if you're a toter, if you're someone that likes to run the ball, you can get his power up for about, I think it's about 16,000 coins right now, so it's even cheaper than the other ones if you've already played the solo and you sold it off, which that's honestly very good to, smart thing to do at the beginning when the legends first come out, is get their power up and sell it, because you can take advantage of people that don't really know and they'll buy it for too much. But Bo Jackson's a very good one of the better running backs in the game. Again, guys, the main thing that I just want to stress to y'all with this is just pick a player that will add value to your team. Don't necessarily go for the most expensive player or one that you have to go and invest a lot of crap in. If you run the ball all the time, then go with Bo Jackson. If you just don't do that, if you throw the ball all the time, then Brandon Cooks is a great option. If you need some help on defense, Denzel Ward, all those other guys, there's a lot of good options here, and these aren't the only ones. So there are other 89 and 90s. Obviously there's a whole slew of 89s. There's not a whole lot of 90s right now, but there's still some other good options if you want to go look at it. So don't just take my word for it. Go do a little bit of research and see who will help your team the best. But from my opinion, these are the 5 best guys that you could use your power up pass on. Very good cards that are all game changers, and they'll really help you out. Don't forget to subscribe, and if you did enjoy the video, hit the like button. But thank y'all so much for watching. I hope y'all enjoyed that one, and I'll see y'all in the next one.